In the early hours of the morning, while most of the world was asleep, the Venezuelan capital of Caracas was shaken by a series of powerful explosions that instantly drew global attention. At approximately 2 a.m. local time, residents across multiple neighborhoods reported loud blasts, flashes in the sky, and sounds resembling low-flying aircraft. Within minutes, videos began circulating on social media showing smoke rising above the city, people rushing into the streets, and widespread confusion as electricity was cut in parts of southern Caracas near a major military installation. These events marked one of the most serious security incidents Venezuela has witnessed in recent years and triggered an immediate political and military response at the highest levels of government. Shortly after the explosions, the Venezuelan government issued an official statement condemning what it described as an extremely serious act of military aggression carried out by the United States against Venezuelan territory. President Nicolás Maduro declared a nationwide state of emergency, formerly known as a state of external commotion, citing the need to protect the population, preserve the functioning of national institutions, and defend the country's sovereignty. According to the government's announcement, all national defense plans were activated, military commands were deployed across states and municipalities, and security forces were placed on full alert. The declaration signaled that Venezuelan authorities viewed the incident not as an isolated event, but as a direct and deliberate act of hostility. Adding to the seriousness of the situation, the United States Federal Aviation Administration announced a ban on U.S. commercial flights operating in Venezuelan airspace. Such restrictions are typically imposed only when airspace is considered unsafe due to military activity, missile risks, or ongoing combat operations. Aviation experts note that these decisions are not taken lightly and often indicate credible intelligence suggesting potential danger to civilian aircraft. The timing of the ban, coming immediately after reports of explosions and aerial activity, reinforced concerns that the situation on the ground remained volatile and unresolved. In its detailed statement to the international community, the Venezuelan government accused the United States of violating the United Nations Charter, specifically referencing provisions that guarantee respect for national sovereignty, legal equality between states, and the prohibition of the use of force. Officials warned that such actions threaten not only Venezuela's stability, but also international peace and security across Latin America and the Caribbean. The government further claimed that the objective of the alleged attack was to seize control of Venezuela's strategic resources, particularly its vast oil and mineral reserves, and to undermine the country's political independence through military pressure. Venezuela holds the largest proven oil reserves in the world, a fact that has long shaped its geopolitical importance and complicated its relationship with Washington. What has drawn particular attention from analysts is the relative silence from U.S. defense officials in the immediate aftermath. While American media outlets have reported that U.S. military strikes did take place, there has been no comprehensive public briefing from the Pentagon addressing the events in Caracas directly. In high-risk international situations, delayed or limited official communication often reflects either ongoing operations, internal assessments, or efforts to manage diplomatic fallout. This absence of a clear statement has left room for speculation, uncertainty, and sharply contrasting narratives from both sides. To understand how the situation escalated to this point, it is necessary to look at developments over the past few months. Since September, U.S. forces have been conducting an expanded campaign in the Caribbean Sea and the Eastern Pacific Ocean, targeting vessels Washington claims were involved in drug trafficking operations. According to U.S. military sources, more than 30 maritime strikes were carried out, resulting in over 100 fatalities. However, critics and international observers have questioned the lack of publicly presented evidence linking many of these targeted vessels directly to organized drug networks. These operations raised legal and political concerns, particularly regarding the use of lethal force in international waters without transparent judicial processes. As these maritime operations intensified, tensions between the United States and Venezuela continued to rise. Venezuelan officials have long accused Washington of using anti-drug efforts as a pretext to exert military pressure and justify broader strategic objectives. In recent weeks, U.S. statements indicated a willingness to expand operations beyond maritime interdictions, while President Donald Trump publicly reiterated his hardline stance against drug cartels and hostile governments in the region. Against this backdrop, the explosions in Caracas appear not as an isolated shock, but as part of a larger pattern of escalation. The immediate impact on Venezuelan civilians has been significant. Power outages near military installations disrupted daily life, while fear and uncertainty spread through communities awakened by the blasts. Residents reported difficulty accessing reliable information as conflicting reports emerged from state media, foreign outlets, and social platforms. For many, the concern is not only about what has already happened, but what may come next if tensions continue to rise. History in the region has shown that once military confrontations cross certain thresholds, reversing course becomes increasingly difficult. International reaction has been swift but cautious. Several countries have called for restraint, urged respect for international law, and emphasized the need for dialogue over force. Diplomats warn that further escalation could destabilize an already fragile region, disrupt energy markets, and trigger broader geopolitical consequences. Even limited military actions involving major powers can have ripple effects far beyond their immediate targets, affecting global oil prices, trade routes, and diplomatic alignments. From a strategic perspective, the situation presents multiple possible paths forward. One scenario involves controlled de-escalation, where diplomatic channels behind the scenes lead to a reduction in military activity and renewed negotiations. Another possibility is a prolonged period of heightened tension, marked by sporadic strikes, military posturing, and political standoffs. The most dangerous outcome would involve regional escalation, drawing in allies and adversaries alike, and transforming a bilateral confrontation into a wider conflict with global implications. For now, what remains clear is that the events in Caracas have fundamentally altered the current security landscape in Latin America. The declaration of a state of emergency, the grounding of commercial flights, and the absence of definitive clarification from Washington all point to a situation that is still unfolding. Analysts emphasize that the next 48 to 72 hours will be critical in determining whether this crisis stabilizes or deepens. Decisions made during this period, both publicly and behind closed doors, may shape regional relations for years to come. As the world watches closely, the core questions remain unresolved. Was this a limited military action with specific objectives, or the opening phase of a broader confrontation? Are strategic resources driving the conflict, or is it rooted primarily in security and enforcement concerns? And perhaps most importantly, can diplomacy still prevent further loss of life and regional instability? These questions underline the gravity of the moment and the importance of measured responses from all sides involved. This situation continues to develop, and verified information is emerging gradually. What is certain is that the explosions in Caracas were not merely a local incident, but a signal that long-standing tensions have reached a dangerous point. The international community now faces a critical test, whether it can contain this crisis through law, dialogue, and restraint, or whether it will allow yet another conflict to escalate in a world already strained with instability and division.